Welcome all to today's class on Law of Sea, Part 1. So, what is Law of Sea? Law of Sea is a body of international law that concerns the principle and rules of which public entities, especially states, interact in maritime matters including navigational rights, sea mineral rights, coastal water jurisdiction. The Law of Sea sets down a series of rules that regulate the entitlement of coastal states to maritime zones, their rights and duties within these zones, how the boundaries of each zones should be established. Law of Sea as a branch of international law concerned with public order at sea. Much of this law is codified in the United Nations Convention on Law of Sea, signed on December 10, 1982. The convention, described as a constitution for oceans, represents an attempt to codify international law regarding territorial waters, sea lanes and ocean resources. Did you know the oceans cover greater than 70% of our living Earth's surface? They contain 99% of living space on Earth. Without this space for organisms to survive, there would be 5 fewer phyla or animals on the Earth. Both the flora and the fauna should be protected. Perhaps this is the most important reason to protect the sea. The sea have historically performed 2 important functions. The first one, it is a medium of communication because transportation was formed earlier in the earlier days, and secondly, vast reservoir of resources, both living and the non-living. Both of these functions have stimulated the development of the legal rules. The fundamental principle governing the law of sea is that the land dominates the sea, so that the territorial situations constitute the starting point for the determination of maritime rights of a coastal state. Biodiversity. Coral reefs, salt marshes, estuaries, mangroves and seagrass beds are just a few of the ocean environment which support a large number of different species and organisms, that is, having high biodiversity. Estuaries are blackish water systems that empty their waters into the world's ocean and support many fish and other organisms. There are both freshwater fishes organisms and saltwater organisms. Along with coral reefs, estuaries sustain 75% of all the commercial fish, jellyfish, during some point of their life cycles. Spawning organisms make reefs and estuaries their home because animals can find an absence of food and excellent. Maritime zones. Maritime zones or sea zones recognized under international law include the territorial sea, the contiguous zone, the exclusive economic zone, the continental shelf, the high seas and the area. First we will see the baseline. It is a legal construct, an artificial boundary line that determines where a state's maritime sovereignty and jurisdiction begins and ends. In fact, the baseline determines all the areas of maritime jurisdiction. They create a demarcation between the area where the state has no rights and those where the state does enjoy such rights. We should now note that the default baseline under United Nations Convention on Law of Sea is the normal baseline that has been legally prescribed for the world. According to Article 5 of the United Nations Convention on Law of Sea, a normal baseline is drawn at the lower water line as stated in official charts. Perhaps the easiest way to think a normal baseline is an outline of a state's coast. Water on the landward side of the baseline are considered as state's internal waters, which are treated much in the way that the land would be treated. However, in some situation, it is either impractical or uneconomical to draw a normal baseline. In such cases, the straight baseline are used in lieu of the normal baselines. The coastal state itself has to determine its own baseline, which must then be shown on charts and defined by the adequate geographical coordination and given adequate publicity according to Article 16 as explained. It involves the following methods. Normal baseline. Article 5 of the United Nations Convention on Law of Seas provides, except where otherwise provided in this convention, the normal baseline for measuring the breadth, which is the width of the territorial sea, is the low water line along the coast as marked on the large scale charts officially recognized by the coastal state. Next we will see the reefs. Article 6 of the United Nations Convention on Law of Sea provides that in the case of islands situated on atolls or islands having fringing reefs, the baseline for measuring the breadth of the territorial sea is the seaward low water line of the reef as appropriate symbol on the official charts recognized by the coastal state. Now we will see what is a straight baseline. Normally applied in rough coast which are either curved or in case or an island. Under Article 4.1, the straight baseline may be used in localities where the coastline is deeply indented or cut in two. That means inwardly or outwardly. In that is a fringe of island along its coast in its immediate vicinity. Condition in application of the straight baseline. Article 4.2 maintains the straight baseline must not depart to any appreciable extent from the general direction of the coast and the sea areas lying within the lines, and it must be sufficiently linked to the land domain to be subject to the regime of its internal waters. Article 4.5 indicates that states may not draw straight baselines in such a way as to cut off from the high seas or the territorial sea of another state. If you see Article 4 subclause 6 states that state utilizing the straight baseline system must clearly indicate these lines on the chart to which due publicity must be given. And finally, Article 4.4 tells that account may be taken on economic interest peculiar to the region concerned and the reality and the importance of which are clearly evidenced by long usage. Article 7 subclause 1 states that the straight baseline should be used when the normal baseline are impracticable. This would in case of the coastal state which deeply indented coastal lines as it is in Norway, Chile for example, or fringing islands that mask the coastal line as it is in Italy, Greece or northern Canada. There is no specified length for the straight baseline. Along the longest straight baseline drawn by Norway was 44 nautical miles in its length. If you see the 1951 Anglo-Norwegian fisheries case, which is famously known as the UK versus Norway, in this case the United Kingdom and Norway contested access to fisheries on the Norwegian coast. Norway has attempted to claim ocean areas through some creative cartography by drawing straight baselines from point along its rugged coastal line and asserting that the enclosed area is between the deep fords where exclusive Norwegian fisheries can take place. UK argued that against this by maintaining the baseline follow the outline of the coast using the trace parallel of the coast tangent method of drawing baselines. The ICJ eventually ruled in favor of Norway's method of drawing straight baseline. Next is archipelagic baselines. The method of delimiting the territorial sea is that the joining of the outermost point or the outermost island and the drying reefs. For the purpose of facilitating navigation, the archipelago must designate or indicate sea lanes to be followed by ships and other marine vessels exercising the right of innocent passage. United Nations Convention on Law of Sea contains a special rules for drawing baseline along archipelagos. Article 46 subclause B provides a rather exhaustive definition of archipelago as a group of island including parts of island, interconnecting waters and other natural features which are so closely interrelated that such island waters and other natural features from an intrinsic geographical, economic and political entity which are historically has been given regarded as such. Article 46A defines an archipelagic state as a state consisting wholly or one or more archipelagos and may include other islands as well. Example for archipelagic state would include Indonesia, Philippines and Japan. Generally, archipelagic state may, according to the article of 47 subclause 1, draw straight archipelagic baseline joining the outermost point of the outermost island. Article 47 subclause 2 provides that archipelagic baseline may not exceed 100 nautical miles in length. Article 47(1) further states that archipelagic baselines must be drawn such that the ratio in archipelagic states of water area to the land area must fall in between 1:1 or 9:1. There are limits to drawing archipelagic baselines. Article 47(3) states that archipelagic baseline shall not depart to any appreciable extent from the general configuration of the archipelago. Article 47 subclause 4 indicates that the archipelagic baseline shall not be drawn to or from low tide elevations. Equidistance, the last part in part 1. This is a method used to delimit the territorial sea of two adjacent and opposite states. The method begins normally with negotiations and agreements of the two states on delimitation in particular and specific circumstances where the two states may resort to historical titles. However, in the absence of an agreement on delimitation or absence of agreement on application of historical titles, then the solution is to resort to the application of equidistance principle.